Hi, welcome to Catherine Ann Energy, where Spirit speaks through the stars. Today we're going to be looking at the energies for the new moon in Leo, which will be occurring on July 24th, 2025 at 12:11 p.m. Pacific time. So adjust for your time zone. This new moon in Leo is going to be at 2 degrees Leo, so just entering into the sign of Leo. And what we're going to think about when we're looking at the new moon in Leo is always about seeking self-expression and leading with your heart. So what does your heart really want? And not what your ego wants, what your heart really, truly, deeply wants, what lights you up. So now is that time to lean in and ask the universe to support you in your heart's desires. So new moons are not about actions. They are about planting seeds, about envisioning, getting clear on what you want, where you want to go, and then asking the universe for help to bring that intention into form. So today we're going to look at a number of aspects that are showing up in this new moon chart. You can see that we have the challenging aspects represented by the red lines and the aspects of more flow and ease represented by the blue lines on our new moon chart here. So the challenging aspects have to do with that direct opposition of the sun and the moon and then Pluto on the other side of the chart. And then we also have a hard aspect with Venus square Mars. And then we also have that challenging conjunction of Mars next to the South Node. So these are aspects that we're going to talk about and how they're creating an atmosphere of tension or discord and competitiveness in their energies. But at the same time, we have this lovely cradle formation, all these blue lines showing trines and sextiles between all of the outer planets, but also the sun and the moon are exactly in connection, forming sextiles and trines with these outer planets as well. So we have kind of a mixed bag here where we do have some tension, we do have some discord, but we have that universal setup of the universe has our back. And so we're going to talk about how that energy plays out both for the world at large, but also for ourselves personally, and where we're going to find support and also where we're going to need to take some sort of action to ease the tension. So let's look at this cradle formation. I've talked about it before. Last episode with the full moon in Capricorn, we talked about the lovely mini trine between Uranus, Pluto, and then Saturn and Neptune. But now that we have the sun and moon involved in this as well, now we have that crisscross of a trine, and then we have all those sextiles around it making this nice little basket formation. And even the sun and the moon coming across to Pluto in that opposition are kind of like the top. So what this is showing is this collective awakening experience. We still have the beautiful formation of that mini trine saying, I've got you, the universe has our back. But we also have now Uranus connected with the moon and the sun, and then the sun and the moon also trining over to Saturn and Neptune. And what that does for us is it brings an energy of support, an energy of flow. It's going to say, when we're setting our intentions, we're setting it with a bigger picture idea of support. But the thing is about this chart, no matter how many times I look at it, I feel this ominous feeling. And, the moon opposing Pluto happens every month. It's not so dramatic, but there's just something about the configuration of these tense energies that make me feel like there may be some sort of global event, some experience that happens that the world's paying attention to. It could also be something that's happening in your life that kind of wakes you up and you go, whoa, what was that? I really need to go within and reflect on how I feel about that experience. And does that change anything about kind of like my worldview or my paradigm? So something that we're experiencing where we're going, I think I'm going to need a little faith. I think I'm going to need a little faith that the universe does have my back, that everything is happening for us and not to us. And it feels like whatever event is going to happen, whether that's some big global event or something more in your immediate environment, it's going to ask us, do the alignments that we have in our life still support us? So for example, do we still align with the political party that we've been aligned with for years? What about the friend group that we've been a part of? Is that still a supportive, aligning friend group situation, or is it just habit and routine? What about a family dynamic that you've been tolerating and you realize, I cannot tolerate this anymore because it doesn't align with what my heart desires and what my belief systems are? So it feels like a questioning of the status quo. It feels like we're going to be looking at areas that we've been afraid to look at because it's like some event, some quick surprise, some announcement where we go, okay, I need to stop. I need to really do some evaluation. But because this is a new moon, it's a dark moon. This is not that bright light of the full moon that shines a light and exposes and shows something. It's more that internal. I'm really going to have to think about this, go within. And it may be potentially that things are uncovered that have been in the dark, but I feel like it's more than likely that maybe things are happening behind the scene and you're just feeling that tension happening, but the questioning is all going to be internal. And the seed planting, the intention that we're looking at for this Leo new moon is something about, are we brave enough to do what we need to do to take care of ourselves and follow our heart? And what questions are arising from whatever this experience is? It's kind of a wake-up call. So another thing to consider during this new moon in Leo is that we have a number of planets in retrograde. So Mercury is in retrograde, which is going to bring us into all of those classic Mercury kind of things going off kilter or backwards with communication, systems of communication like technology, or just not being able to speak clearly, having like your tongue tied. And then we also have Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto in retrograde. And this is a different type of energy. It's not like Mercury where we see it so clearly happening in our daily life. This is a bigger time period. These outer planets retrograde very frequently, but they are asking us to go within and evaluate and reflect some of the things that we've experienced while they were direct, especially with Aries, the Saturn and Neptune going direct in Aries for that first time and igniting some of the reality checks about our dreams. Are we going to have to let some things go? Where do we need to work hard to actually achieve what we want? Where do we need to think about, I actually have independent, autonomous dreams that I want to go for? And now we're going to be reflecting and thinking, okay, can I really do it? What things do I need to put in place? What did I see that now I'm evaluating? So there is this reflective energy as well. But the overall feeling of this chart, it's uncomfortable. Yes, the moon is tied very closely to these outer planets that are creating this beautiful cradle that reminds us that the universe has our back. And it also is in nice relationship with Uranus. And so that may be surprising communications that create shift, but they're like that type of communication that's maybe positive and pleasant. Maybe it's not a positive surprise, but something about it helps you know, like, this is actually shifting for my better. There's something that's going to work out for me out of this. And then we have that beautiful trine to Neptune, which is going to say, I have the faith and I can handle this situation with compassion. And then also that trine to Saturn that says, we can handle anything that needs to be done with this surprise, this unexpected event, this unexpected news, anything that goes, I'm going to have to take a look at this. We have all the alignments to handle this with faith, grace, compassion, and the ability to do the hard work that needs to be done to move forward from there. But then we have this opposition to Pluto. We have Mars conjunct the South Node, and then we have Venus also in square with Mars. All of these create this tension, and it's this feeling of discord and aggression and conflict and loss. And you can see with the tarot card that represents the decan that the new moon in Leo is in, it's the Five of Wands. It's competition. It's battle. Now, you can think of this card as kids out on the playground, and they are, waving around their big sticks and battling with each other, and it's not necessarily this awful image of war, but it is tension, it is competition, it is discord, and somebody is going to come out victorious at the end. And then that means that some of us are not. And so with that energy of the Five of Wands also representing the decan that this new moon is in, it just feels like it's echoing that feeling of tension, aggression, discord. And so even though there's this beautiful alignment with this moon directly involved in it, saying it's okay, we've got you, you have what you need to be able to make all of this happen. The ruler of the moon is the sun in Leo in its domicile. It's a happy sun. It's like, I've got everything I need. But at the same time, there's this undercurrent of aggression, maybe even violence. It feels to me like, is something going to happen that's actually planting seeds for future conflict? And I think this is a really important thing to be thinking about when we're setting our intentions for the new moon in Leo, whether we're actively doing some sort of new moon ceremony or we're just pondering and thinking about what our heart wants and where we want to go forward from here. We're going to want to make sure that the intentions we're setting are pure, they're not ego-driven, and they don't have any sense of trying to control or change others, because we want to plant seeds for our own benefit and not plant seeds that actually, in truth, create future conflict. The other thing I keep getting is this feeling with this Leo pride of, how dare you? Like, you really did this? This really happened? How dare you? And then we really want to be careful that we're not planting a seed of retaliation or retribution. So these are just these kind of intuitive hits that I'm getting when I look at this chart. It's, yes, Leo is all about wanting to shine bright and come at it from your heart and what does my heart truly want. But these other influences are making me feel like there might be a surprise, there might be an unexpected event that actually rattles us. And then we're going to have to look at kind of that other element of Leo, which is that pride and the how dare you, and make sure that we're not looking at how we're going to kind of get back at someone for it. So let's shift more importantly to the personal perspective of this new moon in Leo, because the new moon in Leo is all about self-love. It's all about, how do I shine brighter? How do I plant seeds, set intentions to create situations in my life where I'm more me, I'm more fulfilled, and I'm shining brighter, and people are seeing me for the light that I am. And so we are going to be looking at this when we go through the horoscope of where is that area in particular for your sign, whether it's your rising sign or your sun sign, that is being highlighted by this Leo new moon. And then where is Pluto opposing it? And we're going to be thinking about, are there power struggles that impact this new moon intention? Are there steps that you might need to take to extricate yourself from a situation over time in order to support this intention? Is there a relationship situation where you're being controlled through, or you're controlling through dynamics of love and anger? And so we're really going to be looking at, are you being controlled? Are you the controller? Are you not being able to be seen or shine bright because of dynamics of power and control, because of this opposition to Pluto? And then where would we maybe need to release some control? If we're the ones in a mode of control, where do we need to let it go so that we can actually follow our heart's desire and be seen for the bright light that we are? So we're always going to think about setting intentions for how we can be seen brighter through our heart. The thing about this new moon in that personal setting is that Mercury retrograde energy of miscommunications, misunderstandings, and frustrations are going to also add into this. I want to be seen. Are there power struggles? Are there issues of control? Was something misinterpreted? Was there a misunderstanding? Or is it just like day-to-day frustrations that are just creating some sort of angst? And so with that tension, can we clear that away? Can we clear away whatever dark, deep, controlling energy that Pluto is shining on us and figure out, let's just go into our center and set an intention for that, for our own dreams, taking care of our own needs, being responsible for ourselves. And if there are any controlling dynamics that you're noticing, realizing that you are going to be released from whatever partnership, collaboration, or obligation that is keeping you from focusing on your own inner happiness. Most likely from whatever surprise this Uranus in Gemini that is connected with the moon is going to bring to light. So some unexpected event, some unexpected news, even hearing information that you thought, oh, wow, I really didn't see that coming. I really needed to take a look at how I'm going to take care of myself and my own personal needs so I can set intentions on my dreams without being hindered by obligations or situations where I feel like I'm either being controlled or too controlling. So, how is this going to impact each zodiac sign? We're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at the new moon house, which is where you're going to be setting those intentions to shine brighter. That's where we have all of that Leo energy. And then we're looking at the house that Pluto is sitting in directly opposite of that. And that's where we want to look at between those two topics. Is there a power struggle? Is there something that needs to have the release of control? Or is there some sort of deep transformation that Pluto in Aquarius has been taking you through that you're now realizing that you can see maybe something that you couldn't see before around what your true desires are, or around the connections you have that are maybe not so healthy. And then we're also going to talk about this Mars conjunct the South Node in Virgo, because what this South Node does is it's all about detachment, release, and loss. And in the Virgo house, we're talking about really tangible, practical earth sign options. I mean, I have never heard the word purge so much as I have since January when the South Node entered Virgo. It is like all around me. People are cleaning out their closets and cleaning out their garage, or even purging relationships or purging their toxic patterns. It's all about, I've just got to let it go. I've just got to release. I just want to clear the clutter. And with this Mars conjunct the South Node, which actually came in a little bit before the new moon, it came exact a few days before the new moon, it's saying, we're doing it. You better do it. Mars is cutting through. It's taking action. Detach and release what you need to release. It's for your greater good. And so this Mars is kind of saying, do you see what's dysfunctional? I'm going to help you move it. And that may be a super cluttered garage, or it may be a relationship, or it may be a pattern you have within mental health, the way you talk to yourself, or, we're going to look at all the different houses to see how it could impact every different sign. So the questions that we're reflecting on are, where do we want to set our intentions? What dynamic between Pluto is maybe keeping you from fully shining, fully being seen, and bringing that new moon house topics to life to let you shine that? and then confronting what areas do you really need to detach from and let go of to also create more space in order to really pursue your heart's desires. And remember, the action is happening in the letting go and the releasing, and in the pondering, the inner reflection before you plant that intention to allow it to then grow to fruition over the next 6 to 12 months as we're watching it come through its cycle. So we're going to start with Aries. And for Aries, this new moon is showing up in your house of creativity and fun. So you want to set intentions about having more fun, about creative projects, about bringing more joy into your life. How can you light up the happiness in your world? And look at, are there power dynamics involved with groups or associations that maybe no longer serve you? You have too many obligations and they're hindering your ability to have kind of like that free, joyous, fun, creative spirit. And where we're looking at maybe letting go is in your house of health and wellness and daily routines. So this is a house where you also could be very overgiving, and it's a house where you're being of service. So this is about really taking a serious inventory about where you give too much, where you're overdoing it and it's impacting your health and well-being, even to the point of bringing a fourth illness. Or with having this South Node here, you could honestly be exhausted just from your daily routine. So what do you need to do to pull back a little bit on doing for others so that you can give to yourself, so that you can be in a place of health and vitality, where you have enough time to get the rest you need? With the South Node in this house, you're going to need more rest. You're going to need to take time for yourself. And it's saying, let's detach from all the unhealthy habits. So this could be around nutrition and exercise, or it's just going to be around your daily life and working too much, or are you overwhelmed by what you have going on? Let's release that so that you can have the energy to have more fun, have more play, and shine bright. Okay, so for Taurus, we're moving into the new moon is in your house of family, of the home. It's that foundational part of your chart. So you may actually be setting intentions around wanting to move or wanting to remodel or wanting to create more harmony and joy and light in your home or in your family life. And the question is, what is that push-pull dynamic between home and career and outward public reputation and legacy? Because there is some sort of power dynamic transformation that's going on in the career, some sort of situation between home and career that is not allowing you to fully be seen in that home and family world. And that's where you're going to be setting that new intention. Is there some situation where you need to talk to somebody and talk about controlling dynamics? And then what we're going to be looking for as far as that letting go and releasing, it's really interesting because it's letting go and releasing in this area of children and family and fun and joy. And so it makes me think about, you may be doing a lot of those type of activities, and how much of that is serving you? Are your family patterns over obligating you to do for your children? And are we looking at needing to maybe balance that out a bit? Maybe we let go of some of the extracurricular activities. Maybe we let go of the need to always have them active and doing things, when we're looking at a little bit more balance, so that you can really feel like your home life and your home is a place full of love and light. Okay, we're going to look at Gemini now. Gemini, this new moon is showing up in your house of that close network, but also your communication. So we're looking at your close networks of siblings and cousins and aunts and uncles, your neighborhood, those friends that feel like family. But we're also looking at all things having to do with communication, maybe your website, social media. Where are you wanting to shine more? Where are you wanting to really be seen, be heard, and follow your heart's direction in those areas? And we're looking at the other side where Pluto is saying, I think we need to look at your deep-seated beliefs. So where are you still holding maybe belief patterns from your family that no longer align with who you are becoming and who you wish to be in the world? So we're going to take some look at that, and how is that controlling or impacting your ability to communicate from the heart, to connect with your community, to connect with your neighbors and your siblings. So we're going to look at that struggle. And then we're also going to look at that needing to detach, needing to look at dysfunction in the home, in the family, in your ancestral lineage. And so this is one of those things where you might have to have some heart-to-hearts with people in your family that it's not a healthy dynamic. Maybe it not intentionally has unintentionally has turned into a dynamic that there's a lot of power struggle, or you're dealing with issues of just dysfunctional communication and the way you navigate with each other. And so this new moon is going to say, let's flesh that out so that you can have a more functional home life, detaching from the things that are not serving balance there, and then setting that intention to maybe communicate better, to set an intention to be seen for the light that you shine, as opposed to being seen for the person who maybe is controlling every little detail. Okay, so let's look at Cancer. Cancer, you're going to have this new moon show up in your house of assets and income flow and the things that you value, your possessions. And where that is conflicting with Pluto is in your house of long-term resources, money from others, debt, taxes, inheritance, mortgages, those type of things. So we're looking at, are you feeling obligated to some sort of long-term financial situation that you've gotten yourself into, or that's been put upon you? And how is that impacting your cash flow? It's interesting. I just got that drop in of, are you house poor? Do you have a beautiful home, but this massive mortgage that doesn't allow much cash flow? So looking at how do your bigger investments or your debts, how are they impacting your ability to feel like you're in flow with money? And we're also looking at, in general, your possessions and the things you value. So is there some way of generating income, or just some lovely possession that would just light you up so much? And are you maybe feeling at odds with obligations that you have with your long-term money situation? So this is where you're going to be planting your new moon seed about creating more flow in this area. And where you're going to be purging and releasing and letting go of is obligations, dysfunction in your immediate environment. So do you have obligations to your extended family, to your community, your neighborhood, that maybe is impacting your ability to really kind of be that dynamic income generator? Are you over obligated in your local environment, on every committee, helping everybody out and not giving yourself the time to really nurture your needs? Leo, this new moon is shining in the house of you. And of course, Leo season is all about you. So you are happy, happy, happy to be getting all of this bright sunshine energy in your life. It's so exciting that the sun is now finally in Leo. And what we're going to be looking at is that dynamic between you and others. So we're talking about those serious relationships, marriages, business partners, that one-on-one relationship. And what is the push-pull? Where is the power struggle? Where are you uncovering situations going on in your relationships with your one-on-one, your partners, your audience, your clients? Where are you realizing there's something deep that needs to be dealt with here? Is there a power struggle? Are there issues of control in the relationship? Do you do that love and anger dance with these partners? And how is that not allowing you to just fully show up as you, as the bright light that you are as a Leo? Because any sort of power struggle that is happening with somebody in this partnership sector is dimming your light. It's not going to allow you to shine quite as brightly as you could. In addition to that, we're looking at dysfunction and the need to detach and purge and release in your area of income and assets and possessions. So this very specifically feels to me like, are you holding on too tightly? Are you not releasing outdated possessions that really don't bring you any joy, really don't light you up, don't show you anything about who you are now? But for some reason, you haven't been able to let go of them. And so it's interesting because I really feel like that is a cleaning out the garage type of energy, right? Why are you holding on to that painting that you did when you were 15 and now you're 55 and you're not hanging it in your office, you're not hanging it in your home, it doesn't really light you up, maybe it's time for it to go. So this is where we're really looking at detach from things. And maybe even detaching from it feels like detaching from maybe a controlling feeling around money, a fear around money. That's something that is also going to aggravate and agitate your ability to fully shine with your bright Leo sun energy. Virgo, this is the house where you are hidden, you're releasing, you're retreating. This is where you can really dive deep and let go of a lot of things that are in your subconscious, which is awesome because this South Node and Mars is also there right now too. So Virgo, I just think you are clearing it all out. All that mental junk, you are in the purge mode. Get all the destructive patterns, get all of your self-sabotaging habits. It's time for them to go. You may be working on them one at a time because this South Node in Virgo is a 1.5 year long transit. So maybe it's not all happening at once, but it is saying let go of those things that sabotage your ability to be in a grounded, balanced, mental, emotional state. And then on the other side, which just pairs so nicely with this, on the other side of this moon is Pluto in your 6th house of health, well-being, physical illness. So we're really looking at the impact of your mental space and your emotional well-being on your body, on your day-to-day life. So we're doing lots and lots of releasing of outdated emotional patterns, outdated mental processes that are actually sabotaging your physical well-being and your daily life. So we're going to plant those seeds to say, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to stop being my own worst enemy. And in doing so, I'm going to feel so much better in my daily life. So, Libra, this is happening in your 11th house. It's your hopes, your wishes, your friendships, community. So what a beautiful place to have this Leo energy. Let's shine bright and bring joy and our heart into these connections and into really lighting up our dreams. And so in order to do that, we're taking a look at, are there some obligations or stories that we've told ourselves in the area of children and creativity and fun that are actually interfering with this. And this is an interesting dynamic because the 11th and the 5th house, these two houses are actually beautiful houses. It's good fortune and good spirit. So these are joyous places. And it makes me think of, where is there too much of a good thing? Where is there maybe overcommitting or some sort of obligation or need to always be out there having fun and not thinking about kind of like the bigger picture and your bigger dreams? So that's your new moon intention, is going to be around bigger picture, bigger dreams, expansive ideas, as opposed to just that one fun day at the beach. And then what we're looking at as far as that purging, that releasing, is dysfunctional thoughts. So that monkey mind, that self-talk that just self-sabotages and doesn't let you have peace, time to let that all go. So this is all about clearing out that mental playground. It's all about clearing out patterns, beliefs that don't serve you, that self-sabotage you. And I would also say it's probably about letting go of specific self-sabotaging behaviors, which may be escaping into your vices. So this could be a really great time to set intentions around connecting with groups that are going to support you in letting go of some of your vices. It's really funny. I just got this image of, if you are in San Diego, you're familiar with Over the Line, which is very fun, but is also a very celebratory, and I would say enjoying a lot of your vices type of fun community. So where is that type of thing? It's fun and it's great. You have a wonderful time, but maybe you go a little bit overboard. Where is that stopping you from actually fulfilling your heart's desire, your bigger hopes and dreams and wishes? And that's where you're going to set that new seed of intention, is on those bigger hopes and dreams and letting go of maybe some of the vices that come along with all of that fun. Scorpio, we are looking at a new moon that is lighting up your career space, your public reputation. So you are wanting to really be seen in what you do, in how you show up in the world. You are wanting to shine in your career space. And that is something that if you are in a career that you love, that you're passionate about, that is meaningful to you, that's something that's easier to do. And so if you're not, something to consider when you're setting this new moon intention. Maybe we're setting intentions around coming into a career space that lights us up from within. It's not just a job, it's a passion. It's a great place to spend a lot of your time. It's your life's work. And where we're going to see some Plutonian control and power and deep transformation considerations are all related to home and family. And this really makes me think about, are you in a career because of what your family said you should do? Example, you always wanted to be a freelance journalist, but you are a CPA because that is the responsible thing to do. These are what we're looking at with this dynamic of, let's set intentions in our career space about following our heart and releasing some of those obligations to our family, to the past belief systems, even, our parents, and realizing that you can really be happy and figure out how to navigate these relationships too. What we're letting go of, Scorpios, is we're letting go of attachments to some groups and some organizations. And it's interesting to me because it makes me think about, if you're going to change your career because you're planting that seed to actually follow your desire, you may also have to let go of some of those career networks that are absolutely bolstering your current career, but they're not supporting the career you want to go into. So maybe letting go of some of those communities and organizations that you have been participating in because you should, as opposed to because it makes you really happy. So we're clearing the decks on kind of like all of those extras. Also, it feels like maybe you need to call back some manifestations, some hopes and dreams that are no longer valid. We have tons of things that we put out into the universe that we want to create and with the universe through our lifetime, and then we change and we grow, and those are no longer valid. This may be a great opportunity to call back intentions and manifestations that don't resonate with you anymore, clear up some of that spiritual space. Okay, Sagittarius, you have this new moon showing up in your house of travel, of study, of the law, of all of this faith and belief system. This is about expansion, expanding your mind, expanding your culture, expanding your faith. And so what that is juxtaposed against is that little fishbowl community experience. You have the same neighborhood, the same friends, you hang out with the same family members, you go to the same school, the same grocery store. Everything is this short little commutes. And how is that not serving your ability to dream big? Maybe you're feeling like, I can't go explore the world, even though that would super light me up because I have obligations in my small little network. And that is something that is literally keeping you small instead of expanding your energy, shining your light, and learning through school, through faith, through travel, and expanding who you are. Where we're going to be clearing the clutter and filtering out the dysfunction is in our career space. So this is all about cleaning your office. This is all about maybe thinking about, do I need to have some talks with some people? Are there some not very healthy dynamics going on in the office, depending on your position, whether you have a supervisor or you're the employee? That could be a tricky dynamic, but you really need to think about, is this career serving me? Is the environment of the career and my public reputation, my public legacy, what do I need to let go of? Or is it that the pursuit of a career is actually what you need to let go of? And what your heart wants to do is go be a nomad and learn new things and travel and explore and go on an awakening journey, because your career is actually not fulfilling that need. Capricorn, you are going to have this new moon show up in your house of debt, taxes, money of others, that mortgages, inheritance, loans. We are going to be thinking about really wanting to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves in this situation, because that Leo new moon is about your heart. So we're making intentions around what lights us up. If we're going to take on debt, is it because of something that lights us up and we're going to take that leap? Or is it just really more fulfilling to pay that off or not get into that obligation because it doesn't feel aligned with your heart? This is also the house that has to do with the other side, the occult and the mysteries and psychology. So maybe it's you're going to pursue that interest. You're going to plant that seed on how you can go deeper there. And the thing that is holding you back on the other side is, can you afford it? This is about cash flow. Do you even have what you need to have to make all of this happen? And so for Capricorn, we're really looking at this money axis, about fear of money, about fear of getting into long-term obligations that are actually going to fulfill you and follow your heart, but somehow are going to impact your cash flow, your possessions. It feels like, are you going to hold on too tight to what you have for fear of taking the leap into something that actually is going to be more fulfilling, but might be a much bigger financial ask than maybe you realized you were ready to take on? And then what we're going to be releasing and letting go of is those belief systems and old paradigms. If you no longer resonate with the spiritual or religious values that you were raised in, if you had some form of education and you are like, nope, that's not me anymore, I'm taking another turn. If there's a legal situation, this is where we just got to let it go, right? Like, whatever happens, happens. I am not wasting my light in that conflict. So we're talking about letting go of the kind of like that bigger paradigm so that you can actually transition into you being you, the you that you are now, not the you that you were raised to be. Aquarius, this new moon is showing up in your relationship house. So we're going to be looking at setting new seeds of intentions around your partnerships. Are you wanting a relationship? Are you wanting to strengthen the relationship you are in? Are you looking to bring in more clients or more connections with that one-on-one support? This is about setting seeds that these relationships are fulfilling and you are seen within these relationships. They light you up and you feel like you can follow your heart's desires and still be in that partnership. What is in contrast to that is you and how you navigate the world. And so with Pluto in this house of you are going through an epic transformation over these next 20 years. It's a very long transit, but Pluto is bringing deep experiences into your world to completely change how you show up. And as somebody who has already experienced Pluto going through my first house, I can tell you from the time it started to the time it left, I am a completely different person and I show up completely differently now than when I started. And what's interesting about that is the phases along the way where I took on new personas, became a wife, became a mom, became single. All these things were different representations of how I showed up in the world, but they were very transformative experiences. So Aquarius, as you're going through these very transformative experiences that can be amazing and can also be very challenging, how is that impacting your relationships and what do you want now? What makes you happy now in relationship? And what we're letting go of is resources from others. And so a very specific example would be if you are in a relationship and you are not happy and it's time to get out of this relationship, but you feel financially bound by the other person, we're going to start letting go of that belief. We're going to start letting go of, but I'm obligated to somebody else. They owe me, I owe them. Oh my gosh, I can't afford this. This is going to impact my pension. This is going to impact my taxes. All of those types of situations, we're letting it go. We're purging that all out. And that could just be the beliefs you have around them. And it could literally be, I'm letting go of the support that this person provides me because I need to do something different to follow my heart and to shine my light. Okay, Pisces, we are seeing this new moon show up in your 6th house of health and wealth and your health and well-being and your daily routines and your stress and service to others. So we're going to set intentions around, I'm going to do for me. And this is a hard one for Pisces because Pisces, you really want to take care of everybody. You're so empathic that you really feel the needs of others often before they even know that they need something. But this is about, what do you need? So we're setting intentions of taking care of ourselves, taking care of our nutrition, our exercise, making sure we're not overgiving, making sure that our daily routines are supportive of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And the thing that we're looking at on the other side where Pluto is doing this deep dive is all of those self-sabotaging belief systems. So this is a great opportunity to set intentions around maybe getting some therapeutic support, maybe getting a coach, starting therapy, doing some sort of modality where you're doing deep dives to release some deep self-sabotaging patterns and belief systems so that you can have an easier time at showing up for yourself in that day-to-day, taking care of your physical health, your emotional health, and your mental health. And what's interesting about this is where you are releasing is your beliefs around partnership and situations with partnership. I feel like this very specifically could be, are you in a partnership that is not good for your health? Are you in a partnership where you are either mentally, emotionally, or even physically drained and you just can't do it anymore? That might be a time to purge that relationship. Or is it just facets of the relationship where you're like, these things are good, but I can't do that anymore. And you have to let go of that because it is not supporting your health and well-being. And it's not allowing you to really shine and be the vibrant person you are because you were just spent. So we're going to be looking at those one-on-one relationships and where do we need to tweak and shift and let go either of specific relationship situations, partnerships, clients, or of the beliefs around them. So those are all the signs, and you can tell that this actually has more than just that fun, loving, yay, heart-centered Leo new moon. There's these intensities around it with what do we need to let go of? Where are we in power struggles? What is dysfunctional, is not serving us anymore so that we can shine, so that we can follow our heart. So hopefully this walk through the zodiac sign gave you a specific thing to look at. Your rising sign and your sun sign are the two areas I would look at. And I wish you all the best in your new moon intention setting. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would like, subscribe for more videos to come, and also share it with anybody who you think might benefit from this information, because we are always looking to be on a healing journey together. We're allowing spirit to speak through the stars and guide us on our way every step of the way. Be well.